Hello, welcome to this morning's class. Today we are looking at solving three set problems. Okay, solving three set problems. Like I have already said, when you want to solve three set problem, the main problem or the fundamental of the problem is being able to represent the information you have been given on a Venn diagram. Alright, if you miss or fail to represent the information you have been given appropriately on a Venn diagram, it means that you are going to get the whole thing wrong. So one of the most important aspects in solving three set problems is to have the ability to represent the information that you have been given on a Venn diagram. So this morning, as our preparation into solving three set problem, the first thing I want us to look at is to know the regions within the three sets, diagram, the Venn diagram, and to know how the exams will come when how the examiner will refer to those portions within the Venn diagram and how to represent it. All right. So the first one that we will look at is I. Now, when you look at I, you realize that the boundaries of I is just this, right? And what can be found in I is only in A. So when we look at I, usually it will come as what? A only. Okay? A only. So if this was a con students, this region would have been what? A con students only. If this was football, this region would have been what? Football only. Okay, so this region I is what we refer to as A only. Alright, so A only, or we can say only A. Alright, so if it was a cons students only, or students who do only a cons. Is that okay? Alright. Now when we talk about I, so I if I is A only, then definitely B I to be what? B only, because look at the boundaries in this region. You are not anywhere else in the universal set apart from where? B. So we say what? B only. So it will be B only or only B. I. Okay. I. We have the same thing here, C only or only C. Okay. Then we come to IV. Now when you look at IV, you are not looking at this place. Okay. You are looking at that place. The top here and the down portion are different. When you are in IV, you realize that you are doing, these are people or elements that can be found in A and B only. They can only be found in A and B. Alright? They can't be found in C. So IV is what we refer to as A and B only. Okay, or exactly A and B, right? So when the question comes and it says, oh, maybe a number of students or a number of people or a number of elements are in A and B only, it means they are here. A and B only, or exactly A and B, exactly. When we talk about exactly, it means that it is doing exactly 2 and it's not doing 3, right? So exactly means A and B what? Only. So IV, you can say A and B only, or exactly A and my God is small. Exactly A and B. Exactly A and B. Alright, now we come back. V. You realize that when you are also in V, you are only in what? B and C at the same time, but not in A. Okay, so V will be B and C only. So V will be B and C only, or exactly B and C. Exactly B and C. The same thing to we have A and or C only, or exactly A and C. Alright, let's continue. So we move on. Now let's look at VII. VII is all three subjects. VII is all three. So what can be found in A, can be found in B, can be found in C. It's like that. There are always people like that, you know. People, especially when it comes to a sports team, you'll find some people playing football. They are part of the athletic team. They are part of high jump and all those ones. So all those people are representing all three, right? So students or elements that can be found in all of the sets. So VII is elements in all three sets. Simple. Sometimes questions will come and they will say it like, okay, maybe four elements are doing all three sets, or 4 elements are in all three sets, or 5 elements are in all three sets. So if it was to be a subject, they will tell you 5 students are doing all 3 subjects. Those people will be represented at this point. When you are here, you realize you are in A, you are in B, you are in C at the same time. You are all over the place. You're everywhere. Alright. So VII. So VII has to do with all that is not in A, B, or C, but are in the universal set. They are not in A, they are not in B, they are not in C, they are in the universal set. So let's say if you come to a class, alright, when you come to a science class, we have students who are doing chemistry, we have students who are doing physics, we have students who are doing biology, right? Let's say we are looking at the whole class, so the whole school, and we are talking about biology, we are talking about physics, we are talking about chemistry. Now, students who are doing maybe general arts will not be doing any of the 3, right? So they cannot be found in chemistry, biology, nor physics. However, they are part of the whole school, so they are in the universal set. So those people will be represented with VII, right? So VII are elements that can neither be found in A nor C, nor B nor C, but are in the universal set. So for them, they cannot be found in any of the sets, but they are in the universal set. Those people are the VII. Okay. All right. So another thing we will need to take notes of is when a question comes and it says, let's say a certain number of students do A and B. Okay. When they say that, you can't put them here because this is exactly A and B, or A and B only. So when we talk about the number of students do A and B, then is the whole of this. So IV plus VII, IV plus VII is elements in A and B. When you are here, you are in A. When you are here, you are in B. The fact that we have not talked about C doesn't mean you are not in A and you are not in B, right? When you are, so let's continue, and then V plus VII. So V plus VII will represent elements that are in B and C. When the question comes and say, oh, maybe a certain number of elements are in B and C, they didn't specify that it is only, then it means it's the whole of this section. So VII plus V will give us elements in B and C. Alright? So when it comes like that, don't confuse and say, oh, they said elements are in B and C. The only condition under which you put it at V is when they specify with only or exactly. If they say exactly B and C, then it's V. But if they just say B and C, then it's the whole of this section. The same thing applies here. If they say A and C, it's the whole thing. It's the whole of this section. It's VI plus VII. VII is the whole of this section. Okay. I hope it's clear. A and C is the whole of this section. So if you want to find, let's say you have been given VII, then you know this will be what you have been given minus VII. Okay, so an illustrative example will throw more light on the whole thing. And please find the meaning of words like nor, exactly, neither, so that when they use them in a question, you'll be able to understand. Sometimes the problem with three set problem is that it's a word problem. Okay, it is written down and you have to read and think about it. Now the problem with most students is reading and understanding what they are reading, and the problem they don't understand what they are reading is because of the English. So find the meaning of some of the words. So as we solve examples, we will also help in helping students. We will also try our best to help students to get some of the meanings of the words so that it will help improve. Alright, so that will be all for the part A. That will be all for solving three sets problems.